In this episode, Gina the mule, blond mustache, the groom on the motor scooter, stairs, priest, fava beans, and lawyers. The Sicilian sun shines high between the prickly pears and the wheat fields of the inland. There is Leonforte. Down there, another Sicilian village with miles of history ink. Greeks, Arabs, Normans, etc., in this Sicily of 1,000 fathers and 1,000 mothers. Around here, Apollo drew his chariot and grazed his flock. In these parts were celebrated the Thesmophorus, a festival for women only, based on sacrifices and various rituals in honor of Demeter and her daughter Kore, who, always near here and near Pergusa, was kidnapped by Hades and taken underground in the underworld. You understand where we are now? Today, 2,500 years later, there is a tractor that makes us understand that here we are definitely in the countryside. Here, the soil has a particular humus and some products have a different flavor, known all over the world, among which stand out the fava beans and peaches. Of course, the sacred cows grazed here. And even their poop wasn't supposed to be bad, apparently. Jack Fly, our four-legged drone, flies high above the stone roofs of Leonforte, trying to peek something through the 100 windows of the houses. You can see alleys and courtyards, trees sprung up casually among the houses, and people who go up and down the narrow streets of this village wrapped in the most authentic Sicily. Here we are. Hey, look over there. There is a gentleman with a horse. Let's catch him. Hello. You got me curious. Where are you going?
I'm going home.
A piedi.
Do you live here?
Come si chiama?
No, in Nissoria. I came here to buy the food for the animals in the countryside and I'm going back to Nissoria.
Mamma mia! But they are over 5 kilometers.
4 anni. Mi compiaccio.
What is the name of the horse?
It's a mule. It's called Gina.
Okay, let's go. Come on, Jack. Fly over Leonforte and let us know if there is any place we have to catch. We continue from down here. What a narrow street. According to me, looking at the clothes hanging, a man and 3 women live here.
Signora?
Let's see a minute.
Signora?
No one is here. Maybe she went shopping. Peace and quiet. In these inland villages, every 20 houses, 19 are not inhabited. But if you're looking for peace and quiet, well, then you are in the right place. There is a beautiful carved stone that adorns several houses in Leonforte. It often dates back to the 1800s, when everything was different here. We arrived in Piazza Brangiforti, and that is Palazzo Brangiforti, the lords of the town, the famous Sicilian nobility, that of the leopard. When it was no longer the foreign populations who divided Sicily, the Sicilians themselves, the aristocracy, dominated the people. Here, the Brangiforti family founded Leonforte in 1610. This was their palace. And this was the stable, another splendid construction where the prince bred horses. His bust remained above the beautiful door. Both buildings are now reduced to shreds, divided between different families. In the square, the aristocracy of the town gathered between sumptuous carriages and elegant dresses. Just a few steps away from the civil power was the religious power, the mother church, commissioned by the Branciforte family, of course, by the elegant and simple baracchi. There is a gentleman sitting in front of the church. It got me curious.
Vola. No, ora facciamo delle foto. Come mai sono rimasti sono bruciati? Quello? Bruciati?
Fumo.
Bruciati dal fumo.
Listen, hi, I was impressed by your blonde mustache. Why are they blonde?
Smoke. I smoke.
Il barbiere.
What did you do for a living?
Ma lei era uno di quei barbieri
The
con le
barber.
sanguisughe?
Io ero un artigiano 29 anni fa.
This is Via Torrione, right next to the Branciforte Palace. We are in Leonforte of the past, where the stone has taken in harmonious geometries created by centuries of wind and water. The houses are next to each other. The streets are very narrow. All the doors are open. The calm is absolute. Narrow aisles of life, like in a kasbah, the smells of one house penetrating the other. The moods of a house that spreads in the next one. The very Sicilian religious of the interland build shrines near the houses, like this one here. The Via Torrione continues its zigzag descent. A stone snake and low houses. Many houses are not inhabited. In these parts, with not even 20,000 euros, you can buy one. Look how nice. Clothes hanging from one side of the street to the other. Let's see if this time we guess how many people live in this house.
Vediamo se indovino, signora. Qua ci sono due maschietti. Quelle cose stese. Sono sue le cose stese qua sopra.
Sì, è un maschietto piccolo.
Ah, pensavo erano due maschietti, no?
No, uno.
Ma sporca per due.
Good morning, ma'am. According to me, besides mom and dad, they are two boys? No, it's just one, but makes a mess for 10.
Sto facendo un
How is it living
sto
here?
prendendo,
It's
sto
great.
facendo fotografie.
It is absolute serenity.
Perché?
Meglio di là sopra.
Benissimo.
Benissimo.
Cioè,
This is the old part of the village, and we are just a few that live here.
Quasi 2 anni fa.
We continue our walk, a staircase after another, lower and lower, with the view of the valley that opens up more and more. Below was the reign of Apollo, with his lyre and his flock. What a beautiful balcony! And what a lovely square! And how I like the stone with the grass growing in it. It takes you back to the past. Who knows how we should have been in these parts? Can someone decide whether or not to invent the time machine? We continue to go down, and finally here it is. One of the great masterpieces of Leonforte, the Gran Fonte. A spectacular fountain with 24 mouths from which the water comes out copiously. Built in the 1600s, it welcomed the people from Leonforte who returned from the countryside. And right in front of it, up high, the palace of Prince Branciforte, both undisputed symbols of Leonforte.
Come ho visto che prende quest'acqua, è buona? È buona. L'acqua della Gran Fonte. E la sposa?
In these parts today, there was also a marriage. The groom arrived on a Vespa.
Salve, salve, ti posso fare una domanda? Tu sei lo sposo, io sei di Leonforte.
Esatto.
Ti stai sposando con una leonfortese.
Esatto.
Quindi tu...
There he is.
Dove?
Hello, excuse me. Are you the groom?
Yes,
You are marrying a Leonfortese.
that's right.
Moglie vuoi dei paesi tuoi, which is wife and oxen from your same town. And it means that it's better to choose one's partner among the people who live in the same place.
Ci conosciamo da abbastanza giovani, eravamo amici, poi l'amicizia è diventata altro.
We have
La
known each
differenza fra
other
vivere-
since we were young.
Tutto di
Tutto
siciliano.
esclusivamente basato sulle primizie locali, quindi comunque essendo la primavera la stagione delle...
Today's lunch is all Sicilian, based on local fresh produce.
ci saranno tutte queste...
Here's the bride. Here's the bride. But what is she doing? She's leaving? The motor scooter remained alone with the Branciforte palace to keep an eye on her from up there.
Un matrimonio siciliano, io vengo dall'estero, stiamo facendo... Lei si è sposata qua?
A Leonforte però no in questa chiesa, perché ne abbiamo tante chiese noi.
Ah, bellissima qua a Leonforte anche questa immagine.
Questo
no?
è
Ma'am, you got married here on Leonforte? Yes, but not in this church. Did you elope?
Tutto cambia, i
Yes.
sono diversi.
sì.
Here, here. It's the bride that returns. Luckily. The father enters over to the groom, and the new Sicilian family is about to be born. The wedding made us hungry. We were invited by our guide's house, Irene Barberi, a sort of writer, painter, and tourist promoter of Leonforte. Ennio cooked. Her husband, who for the occasion baked focaccia, cookies, and Leonforte's main dish, known throughout the world.
Pasta con macco, praticamente a base di fave.
Pasta with macco, a sort of fava bean sauce.
Ogni famiglia.
It's fried and then slowly brought to a boil with the fava beans
Attenzione.
until it becomes a sort of velvety. And then it all comes together. But the bean must be Leonforte's, otherwise it will not come out right.
And certainly, we have already said it. We thank the humus of the sacred poop of Apollo's sacred cows.
E quello è in realtà una campagna del nostro... la nostra
Before
campagna,
sitting
dove
down at the
ci sono tutte
table,
queste storie.
Irene shows us around the house and shows us her Sicily, made by a book and by a painting. The air of the hinterland has inspired and continues to inspire the Sicilians.
Certo.
Perché abbiamo saltato le case. Questa è la nostra campagna.
Buon appetito.
Grazie.
Buon appetito. Grazie.
The pasta is delicious, and Marcello, our operator, has eaten 3 dishes.
Venire a Leonforte ne vale la pena, perché Leonforte è uno simbolo, è un'isola
Smashing local, coming to Leonforte, it's worth it. It's an inspiration. It is the Sicily of the hinterland, Sicily without the sea, Sicily of the hills, of wheat. It is the Sicily of fava beans and lentils. Come and discover our traditions and our hospitality.
della settimana santa. Questo e altro è il nostro entroterra.
Fly high, Jack, over the heart of Leonforte. Be careful, Jack. You have a full stomach with all the food at Irene's house. Here we are in Piazza Margherita, with its typical four cantoons. Here's one of the most curious and photographed images of Sicily. This staircase, a zigzag of stone and iron that joins the lower part with the upper part. One of those works that only after having created them do you realize that they have an aura of magic and the result of no one knows what. They are alchemical and nothing else. This has inspired artists from all over the world.
Buongiorno.
Good morning. Feel the staircase is beautiful.
Facendo
There is one
questa
here too,
scalinata è
and one over
bellissima.
there.
What did you do for a living?
Contadino.
The farmer.
Il terreno, contadino, 35.
35.
What class are you?
From 1935. I am 84 years old.
Listen, but is it true that once they were bandits?
Once upon a time there were.
And what did they do?
They robbed.
There are those who are playing cards. Let's go bust their chops, come on.
Come chi vince ora? Come siamo?
Hello, who's winning here?
One wins and one loses.
Let's go up the magical staircase. Every landing, you'll find a little door. The usual curiosity assails us, and we ring. The lady, after some quick preamble, as a good Sicilian, is convinced to show us her home. We are fortunate to catch an important house. This show is totally based on a sort of continuous improvisation and lives on these unexpected fortunes. The lady tells us that this was an inn that gave refreshment and accommodation to travelers. Here came a very popular man of the 1800s, Cardinal Traveler John Henry Newman. In this inn he fell ill and found a certain spirituality following a vision or something like that. Priest stuff, you know. Put yourself in pose and I'll take a beautiful photo.
Grazie tante.
Poi glielo faccio sempre avere pure, però.
Ah, what a beautiful day here in Leonforte. Just 2 steps away from the square, there's another historical place, often inevitable in the Sicilian villages, the social club.
Mi avvicino ai 90 anni, quindi è unica.
90 anni?
No, veramente, 88.
Here are some of the most bizarre and intellectual characters of Leonforte. The figure of the lawyer stands out among all.
I am approaching the 19 years of age, despite the jinx that are out there.
Nacqui ad aprile in primavera, che fretta c'era, che fretta c'era.
I was born in April and spring. Che fretta c'era, che fretta c'era.
Which means, in a hurry, in a hurry. These are the lyrics of a famous song. With these blue eyes, what did you do to women?
Un fatto importantissimo, io ho girato mezzo mondo. Però le dico una cosa, lei quanti anni ha?
Aspetti, 53.
53 anni, lei vedrà che quando avrà la mia età il desiderio delle donne continua, però hai la paura che poi...
You will see that when you are my age, the desire of women continues. But then, if the woman is interested, will that make you look?
The president, who is also the doctor of the lawyer, and who also tells us that the lawyer has never had a disease, and he even smokes like a Turk. and makes us go around the beautiful halls of the Liberty-style social club, with prestigious furniture, among which some chairs of the legendary Decor Furniture Factory in Palermo. Before leaving, the lawyer gives us a book of his with an autograph. Now it's time to go. We have known wonderful people as usual, and we have been greeted worthily by the descendants of Apollo. Only Sicily can give you these emotions, simple emotions, but never banal.